everyone. We are back with more Vampire Masquerade, Coteries of New York. We are at the point where we need to rest for the evening, so we'll go ahead and do that. And we'll see what the next night holds. You arrive at the Leech Pit, finding it less rowdy than the last time. The bar is still packed, but the dance floor is empty tonight. Instead, the old crackling speakers are playing music that would probably sound like noise even on high-end hardware. Mia is nowhere to be seen, but you do remember she requested that you ask for her at the bar. You approach the bar as the bartender finishes pouring a beer for an older guy in a faded, fraying Iron Maiden t-shirt. She turns to you. What can I get you? Around, I was told to ask you about Mia. I was told to ask about Mia at the bar. Yeah, well, she's not in tonight. She looks you up and down, and a spark of recollection shines in her eye. Oh yeah, that's right. She takes a well-worn book from behind the counter, some kind of young adult vampire novel, and flips through it. She produces a piece of paper from between the book's pages and passes it to you. She told me you'd be interested in reading this. Hi, Jody! You find a relatively quiet corner and take a look at the note. T wants to meet you. I'll arrange it, but you need to prove you're trustworthy. Look around the Leech Pit for a guy named Bruce. Buff dude, tattoo sleeve on his right arm. I'm 90% sure he's somebody's retainer, sent here to spy on us by the cam. Get me the name of his master and write it on this card, then return it to the bar. Well, Jody, you haven't missed a whole lot yet. We just started, actually. Currently, we are at a nightclub called the Leech Pit. Oh yeah, it's very interesting. We're currently at a bar called the Leech Pit. In the previous playthrough, Lamar, who we're playing as, met another vampire named Mia, and she left a message in a book for him that he just found at the bar. So that's where we're at. I'm 90% sure he's somebody's retainer, sent here to spy on us by the cam. Get me the name of his master and write it on this card, then return it to the bar. It doesn't take you long to locate this Bruce guy. He sits alone in a corner, 2 beer glasses already empty on his table. You take a moment to consider your approach. Okay, oh my. Yeah, we've got a few choices of what we can do here. Okay, so for anyone watching the stream live right now, here's how this is going to work. Since this is a choose-your-own-adventure narrative story game, we will get situations where we will have choices, and this is our list of choices here. I'm trying to make this as interactive for the people watching as possible. So we're trying to find this guy named Bruce. I'm guessing he's human. We have 4 choices here. According to this, it says we can get him drunk and talkative, be up front and ask him for the name of his master. And then we also have an opportunity to feed, which, since we're playing a vampire, the feeding opportunities do come up once in a while. Okay, so Jody wants us to do use the presence ability and strike up a conversation. All right, let's do it. The man immediately notices you but doesn't move from his spot. The other seats are empty. When you focus the blood to boost your attractiveness, it's not just Bruce who notices. He's into you. So are other people, doing double takes as they pass your table. Hey, you. Have I seen you here before? Okay, we have another one. Yeah, probably. It's possible I'm a regular, or it's my first night here. Okay, that's kind of what I was thinking. We'll say it's our first night here. I don't think so. It's my first night here. Hey, I'm lucky. I'm here... Yeah, wow. I've got to read that again. Hey, I'm lucky I'm here tonight then. Okay, now these are things that we can do. We can intimidate him to give him his master's name, ask him directly, or ask him nicely. Ask him directly. Okay, we'll be direct. I know you serve a certain individual. I need that individual's name. What, Sam? He catches himself, realizes what you're doing. His eyes dart over your shoulder. You thought you had him cornered, but he suddenly leaps over the table in one smooth move and dashes through the sparse crowd. You catch up to him outside. He's bolting, all right. Okay, so he's running. We can call after him to stop, give chase, or use celerity, which is this symbol means it's a vampire ability. So making this choice will use a vampire ability, which will also affect our hunger level as well, which means we might have to feed sooner. Vampire ability. Okay, we'll use celerity and catch up. Throwing caution to the wind, you focus your blood and give chase after Bruce. He might be faster than a human, but his abilities are a fraction of yours. He dashes into a nearby alley, and you follow suit. Before he can jump the fence, you tackle him to the ground. A short brawl later, you are standing a few meters apart, Bruce eyeing you with hatred. Okay, two choices. Tell him his cover is blown, or intimidate him with violence. Tell him his cover is blown. Okay. Listen, your cover is blown. I was told who you are. Better come clean. Your master's name. That's all I need. Bullshit. Besides, she'd kill me if I told you. And I quite like being alive. Here's the deal. You tell me your master's name, and you save yourself a world of hurt. Unless you want to exit this alley on a stretcher, you'd better... Whack! Bruce doesn't wait for you to finish talking. He jumps at you, kicking and punching with dizzying speed. It takes you by surprise, and he puts you on the defensive. Just as you're about to retaliate, he breaks away, jumps the fence at the end of the alley, and is gone into parts of the city unknown. Time to leave something for Mia. You borrow a pen from the bar and flip Mia's note to the other side. And you know it's a she. That still leaves a lot of options. You could pull a name out of your ass, or let Mia figure it out. Okay, 4 options. Put down Samira, put down Samantha, leave Mia all the info you have, or don't leave a name at all. These would technically be guesses, because we don't actually know the person's name all the way. Because he started to say it and he didn't finish it. Leave me all the info we have. Yeah, that's probably fair. We want her to trust us. Mia asked you for a name, but if all you have is a fragment and the gender, it'll have to do. You jot down a note. Bruce referred to his master as Sam and called her she. You pass the piece of paper to the bartender. She sticks it back in the same book. Hold on a second. She wanted me to pass something on to you. She produces a cell phone from behind the counter. It's ancient, at least 15 years out of date. Oh, right, and this. An old charger for the piece of junk in your hand. They really did think of everything. She said she'll be in touch. It takes you a moment to remind yourself how to operate this thing, and you find that its phone book is blank. There's no Wi-Fi connectivity and no saved messages. It's got a version of Snake, though. The bartender is already over at the other end of her domain, taking orders from patrons. With your Anarch contact nowhere in sight, you decide to move on for the night. Hopefully, your educated guesses based on the scraps of info you collected will be enough for Mia to call you. Okay. So now we have a choice as to how we can spend the rest of our night. Because that thing in the right-hand corner shows us how long we have until sunrise. And we now have half the night left, which means we have time for one more conversation with someone else. We can either go and speak to Agathon, Benoit. I have personally been avoiding going to talk to this person. Actually, no, we're not feeding on anyone here. These people are other vampires. All of these guys are other vampires that we're attempting to make connections with, and we've been talking to them each and every night. Hope is the only one that I've been avoiding, because she's kind of a loose cannon, and I find her to be kind of dangerous. Well, we have to talk to someone in order to rest for the evening. The game won't let us rest until we talk to someone. This person that I have highlighted, D'Angelo, we haven't spoken to him before. So I'm thinking we might want to talk to him, but we can also talk to Benoit or Agathon. Which one? Agathon, Benoit, or D'Angelo? Which him are you referring to? Okay. You mean D'Angelo? That's kind of who I'm thinking too. Now let's talk to him. You know what to expect when you return to the small bookstore serving as Agathon's haven. The cacophony of occult imagery assaults you from the book covers displayed on the window, but under the fake facade, there's something real. This time, the Buddhas and the satanic Bibles at the storefront seem almost funny, or perhaps you've just started to turn into the dry humor of these Tremere. Just as you're about to ring the doorbell, the door opens, and Agathon storms out. You step aside just in time to avoid having him stumble into you. Lamar, what are you doing here? Okay, here's our next choice. We can tell him, I came to help you, hey, don't be a dick, or make a joke about window shopping. Okay, we'll go with I came to help you. And yes, I am going to be releasing a grimdark reading for Halloween this year. I won't spoil it for you, though. It's going to be a surprise. Look, I came to help you, like last time. Okay, fine. You're right. Follow me. As he turns to go, Agathon almost looks pleased that you're here. Agathon walks to his car with you in tow. It didn't occur to you last time, but it's a surprisingly pedestrian vehicle. An aging, mid-sized family sedan. You imagine what it would look like with a baby seat in the back. Opening the door on the driver's side, Agathon notices your look. Laugh all you want, but it's Laugh all you want, but it's inconspicuous and practical. You sit in the car, and Agathon starts driving in his usual careful style. At least you'll never be stopped by traffic cops. It seems Agathon is not interested in small talk. Okay, we can say, what's this about? Comment on the beautiful night, or stay silent. What is this about? Yes, Agathon's eyes are highly unsettling. I quite agree. I love a good mystery as much as the next vampire, but at some point you have to tell me what we're doing. Let me ask you a question in return. Have you ever tasted animal blood? From sheep, for example? Alright, we can say, what? Gross. You're kidding. Or, no. Okay, now you're being disgusting. That's just gross. Yes, I know. It is disgusting. The question is, if it was more palatable, would it make our life easier? Anyway, something to think about. You exit Manhattan over the Brooklyn Bridge and soon reach the site of the nightclub that seems to be your destination. It's on the riverfront, a converted former warehouse. After Agathon parks the car, it's time for you to enter the nightclub. You glance at the Tremere, evaluating him. It's obvious this is not his kind of place. It's not your kind of place, not exactly. but you've probably been here and just forgotten it. For a bunch of perennially penniless archetypes, your friends were always good at trawling through every gutter in search of a high. There's a good chance the research notes are here. Research notes, so it's not certain. Let's go. Just to give some context, the last time we helped Agathon, we were helping him look for some missing research notes that a friend of his had lost. So I think this is what he's talking about, is those same research notes. So we can either say research notes, so it's not certain, or let's go. Let's not waste any time. Excellent. There's a line into the club. It looks like a popular spot, even if, based on the crowd, this is not exactly a place for supermodels and celebrities. Okay, we can wait in line or use presents to charm the bouncer into letting us in. Okay, we'll charm the bouncer. You walk up to the man at the door and smile. Hey, you remember me, right? Mind if we go in? The bouncer looks at you, taken in by your supernatural charisma. It doesn't matter whether he really remembers you or not. Sure, go right in. Have a great night. You walk into the club, ignoring all the people standing in line. The music beats down on you, bringing with it memories of a human existence. The first time you went dancing with friends, when you flirted with someone on the dance floor. This time, it's different. You're a predator, and everyone around you is prey. Tightly packed, twitching sacks of blood and tissue. You sense the emotions all around you. Blood tinted with happiness, lust, rage, jealousy, love, a buffet of sensations. Focus. Keep an eye out for trouble while I look for what we came to find. You nod and follow Agathon through the throng, trying to ignore all the warmth, flesh, and circulating blood around you. Oh goodness. Okay, so we can either feed from one of the club goers or focus on helping him. I don't know, either one of these could work. We have been using a lot of abilities tonight, so we gotta keep some of that in mind. What do you think? Oh, alright, let's drink from someone. You decide that the opportunity to feed has been handed to you and it would be churlish to refuse. A young Latino man is dancing close to a beautiful, drugged-out girl. She takes his face in her hands and kisses him on the mouth. You slide close to them and sink your teeth into the man's neck. He moans from the pleasure of the kiss, and the girl assumes it's because of her. You check to see that nobody is watching and lick the wound closed before disengaging and returning to look for Agathon. You find a young, intense woman pointing a finger at his face. Uh-oh! Agathon, you traitor! Don't you dare stand between me and what's mine. You look at the woman in surprise. Her appearance stands in contrast with the anger in her words. Juno, you know Aisling will not let you leave with the notes. Perhaps she won't let you leave at all. Juno pulls close to Agathon's face and stage whispers loudly enough for you to hear her over the music. You're still so brainwashed that you care about what Aisling fucking Surbridge wants. I'm done jumping through her hoops. I don't know what I saw on you, Agathon. You're such a lapdog. Alright, here's another one. Brainwashed? Let's not forget the Masquerade, which for context in terms of Vampire the Masquerade, that's what they call the illusion of blending in with people, hiding the fact that they're vampires. So we can say brainwashed, let's not forget the Masquerade, or she's your ex. Okay. Sorry to interrupt, but is this woman your ex? Yes, we used to date. Maybe we still would if you weren't such a fucking coward, Agathon. That's not fair, Juno. It's fair and you know it. You're too busy licking Aisling's boots to realize what we had. Aisling doesn't wear boots. Don't correct me. With a start, you realize Juno is genuinely upset. It's hard to say how long ago they broke up, but the wounds are still there. You're the kind of man who takes the side of his boss over his girlfriend. Juno's eyes glisten red with the blood of her tears. You look at Agathon with uncertainty. It was for your own good. Juno steps back, suddenly cold. Ignoring the people all around, she stares hard at Agathon. The past is past. The traditions are dead to me. You won't stop me, Agathon. I'll make sure of that here and now. You know I have the power. No, Juno, please. Agathon sounds panicked. He's not worried about his own survival, but of the possibility that Juno is going to unleash a genuine Masquerade breach. Okay, so we can reason with her, sucker punch her, or use presence to calm her down. Which do you think? Interesting choice. Sure, let's go with that. You step towards Juno and punch her in the face as hard as you can. Her nose flattens and she grunts in pain as her body crashes into the people dancing behind her. In a few short seconds, you've caused a general panic at the nightclub. People pick themselves up off the floor, scream, and try to push their way outside. Oops. Yeah, we did just feed, you're right. The music stops and the lights come on. Suddenly you're blinking in the cold, white halogen light. Uh-oh. A young man crawls away on all fours. Juno stands up. That was a mistake. You expect Juno to create mystical blood magics or just hit you back with her fist. You're caught flat-footed when she steps up and kisses you right on the mouth. No, you're fine. That's the whole point of this, is I'm not going to be making all of the decisions while we're doing this. You feel something trickling from her mouth into yours. It should be blood, but it's not. Rancid, burning, choking. Juno's blood has become a toxin that scorches you from the inside. In a panic, you look to Agathon for help, only to discover that he's gone. You try to croak out words as Juno touches you on the chest, smiling like the predator she is. You feel a sudden pang of hunger, as if the blood inside you has become sour and unusable. Juno flies across the room and crashes into a wall. You advance toward her slowly as she stands awkwardly with what looks like a skull fracture. Your blow would have killed a human. Juno looks at you one more time before running into the crowd. We're done here. Let's go. You're startled by Agathon's sudden appearance. He skipped the fight, but now he's back. This could be a Masquerade breach. Let's hope the crowd is too drunk to supply details later. You try to mend the damage Juno inflicted on you, but you're hungry and something is resisting you, as if the maligned influence of Juno's magic persists in your body. You glance at Agathon warily. Does he command similar powers? Outside, you walk to Agathon's car and drive back over the Brooklyn Bridge to Manhattan, heading for Agathon's haven. Juno mentions some very personal things. I trust your discretion in not discussing those things with Aisling. Okay, so we can say, of course, or say that we won't lie. So basically, it sounds like we're saying that we are either confirming that we would say something or that we won't. Aisling, of course. Yeah. Your love life is your business. Thank you. After a while, you reach Agathon's haven and he parks the car. You walk to the occult bookstore and Agathon invites you inside. The smell of incense assaults you as before, making you grateful you don't have to breathe. You follow Agathon upstairs to find Aisling Surbridge in an armchair reading an old book. She puts a bookmark in place as you come in. You were successful, I hope? No, I'm sorry. The notes were there at some point, but not anymore. That's a shame. I hope you don't run out of time. How did Sophie's little protege do? Agathon turns to look at you. Well, surprisingly well. That's a surprise. I'll have to compliment Sophie on her choice. We met Juno. Fortunately, she couldn't find the notes either. That's interesting. The High Regent turns to look at you. Alright, we can say something about Agathon's ex, driven, or angry. Driven, okay. She's very driven, motivated. I don't think she'll desist easily. You're probably right. Juno could have made a great member of our house in different circumstances. Instead, she became a headache. You'll understand if you had shielded her of your own some night, fledgling. Anyway, I have some things to discuss with Agathon. Run along now. You leave the occult bookstore, the cheesy, mystical music still in your ears as you walk away. You wonder about what happened with Juno. Why is she so anxious to leave her clan? Can she really do that? Could you leave Sophie's service if you wanted to? Okay, so it's the end of the night, so we hit rest, and it'll move us to the next night. A piece of paper sticking out of your mailbox. It's a computer printout, a note and a screenshot from Google Maps. It reads, "Meet me at the indicated spot tomorrow at 10 p.m. I'll pick you up and we'll take it from there." No signature. The place marked on the map is the lookout point near Pier 1, just next to the Brooklyn Bridge. You check the phone that Mia passed on to you. No new messages, no missed calls. It's all a bit fishy, but there's only one way to find out who addressed this to you. Looks like tomorrow evening has been planned out for you. You go downstairs as soon as you wake up. One more glance at the phone, but no news from Mia. You take the car down to Brooklyn, park on Front Street, and approach the meeting spot cautiously. A figure of about Mia's size is standing there, dressed in an oversized jacket and looking out toward Manhattan. As you approach, you can hear her muttering something. It is true, but I do not think it is true. If I do not think it true, then it cannot be true. And if it cannot be true, then... Is that you, Mia? Are you the one who left the notes? I'm supposed to meet somebody here. We don't yet know if this is Mia. It doesn't look like Mia, but what do you think? Yeah, I may as well ask. Hey, are you the one who left the note at my apartment. The woman turns around. It's not Mia. Whoever it is, you have never seen her before. She looks perfectly plain and unmemorable. The ink on the paper did the message leave. The ink on the paper did you face here bring. Oh wow, let me read that again. The ink on the paper did the message leave. The ink on the paper did your face here bring. You turn around. 3 men, all of them burly and threatening, approach you. One of them takes the lead. So, you got the message. I did. Who are you? Or what is this about? What is this about? Cut the crap. What is this about? We're taking a trip, friend. The boss wants to meet you. Okay, so we can make a guess. Just for some clarification. Callahan, I'm pretty sure, is a leader of some particular faction. Kaiser is a Nosferatu vampire that we've had dealings with. And Torque is supposed to be with Mia and the other Anarchs. So essentially we have to take a guess at who his boss is. Which name should we pick? Callahan. Okay. Callahan? That's Boss Callahan to you, fuckface. I suggest you get a move on. We've got places to be. The voice of the woman keeps creeping into your consciousness, the litany of gibberish ever present throughout this entire conversation. The man cracks his knuckles. Or we can do this the hard way. Alright, we can agree to go with them, fight back, or use celerity to escape. Agree to go with them, okay. Yeah, okay, I'll go with you. Smart. They lead you down the pier and onto a motorboat. The engine starts. Put this on. He points to a cloth sack. One of the guys is holding you down. The woman is still there, whispering to herself. Somehow, you hear her voice clearly in your head. It becomes a nagging suggestion to put the sack over your head. You don't really want to do it, but your hands go through the motions all the same. It takes 15 or so minutes to reach your destination, you think. The engine dies down, and you are led on shore and then further, up an incline and through some overgrowth. 10 more minutes of walking, maybe, until a deep voice reaches your ears. Vincent, my dear boy, why the hood over our guest's face? Well, boss, I thought... No, that will not do. How many times do I have to repeat myself, Vincent? You don't have to think. You have to listen and do what you're told. Yes? Yes, boss. Well, take this ridiculous sack off their head, will you? The hood comes off. The owner of the deep voice is a curious sight. Dressed in what only can be described as Victorian clothing, with a monocle and graying red hair. Is this Callahan? Apologies for Vincent's unacceptable behavior. He can be a little thick sometimes. Isn't that right, Vincent? Yes, boss. Sometimes. A little. I believe you already know who I am. You're Boss Callahan. You're the Anarch Baron. You're a dumb-looking motherfucker. Oh, goodness. What do you think? Personally, I don't think we should insult the man, but that's just me. Oh. Oh, goodness. Okay. Let's go with that. Nope. Just that you're a dumb-looking motherfucker. A fist hits your stomach like a meteor. Were the hit any harder, you're pretty sure your spine would snap like a twig. Much obliged, Vincent. Let's get these pleasantries out of the way, shall we? I am Douglas Callahan, the Baron of New York City. You shall refer to me as Boss. Everybody who knows what's good for them does. Now, let me make myself perfectly clear. I am disappointed in you. Truly disappointed. But I arranged this meeting to allow you to make amends. First, though, I have to make sure you understand what your infraction was. So, do you know why you're here? I feel like you're dying to tell me, because I work for Sophie Langley, because I wanted to meet with Torque. I can't help but feel like you're dying to tell me. Don't get smart with me. He takes your face in his hand, while Vince holds you in a tight grip. He squeezes hard and looks you deep in the eyes. Torque is the reason you're here. Or that little angry strumpet of his, I'm told. Yes, Mia. Oh, how I'd love to get my hands on her gaunt neck and wring it until it breaks. But see, I'm a statesman. That's not the prudent thing to do. No, indeed. The prudent thing to do is tolerate both her and that blasted ebony-skinned mentor of hers. You folk call yourself Afro-American, correct? Bah. Back in my day, we knew what being American meant. And it sure as hell didn't mean being black. Wow, this guy's a huge fucking racist, apparently. You hear that? This guy's a freaking racist. I'm guessing this guy was a southerner or something back in the day. Oh, that's interesting. Alright, finished with your disgusting rants. Please just let me go. I don't think we can select this one right now because it's bright red. So I think we only have the two options. Finished with your disgusting rants. You take that shit back or else. Finished with your disgusting rant. Okay. Finished with your disgusting rant? Oh, fledgling, you have no idea who you're messing with. He looks at you with rage in his eyes, and you feel insignificant and vulnerable. An irrational fear takes over you. You cannot speak up against this man again. You just can't. He's too terrifying. Now that I have your full attention, I will request something from you, and you will obey me to the letter. But that comes later. First, you will answer a few questions. The first of which is, who pointed you to Mia? Sophie made me do it, or nobody. It was my idea. Okay, now before we choose this one, I'm going to point out that Sophie is our patron. So if we throw her under the bus, that might end badly. If we don't tell him that she is the one who told us to talk to Mia, then Sophie won't get in trouble. Okay, yeah, nobody. We'll say it was nobody. Nobody. It was my idea. Oh, really? And what was your intention behind the meeting? Okay, did we need her help, or did we want to contact Torque? I needed her help with something. Oh, come now, you'll have to be more specific than that. I need to know exactly what it was that you discussed. I wanted her to explain the Anarchs to me, or she wanted me to do her a favor. I just wanted to learn about the Anarchs, so I asked her about the movement. Oh, Childe, you should have come to me then. I am the Anarch movement in New York City, and nobody makes a secret out of it. You bet on the wrong horse, as I'm sure you'll soon learn. See, that wasn't hard now, was it? Of course, I can't be sure how much of what you told me was true, and how much of it is worth about as much as yesternight's horse shit. But I'll find out. I always do. When I do, we'll have another one of these nice talks. And maybe, just maybe, you'll avoid this upcoming unpleasant episode next time. He gives Vince a sign, and the burly man starts hitting you all over. You feel teeth, ribs, and fingers break. Your foot is mangled under Vince's boot. Your shoulder dislocated. Your nose wrecked. That's enough, Vincent. Leave them be. He snaps his fingers in front of your face a few times and checks if you can focus on his face. You can, but barely. I am a man of principle. Another night, I would perhaps put you in a casket, dip it in concrete, and dump it in the Hudson. A favorite of mine during the Roaring Twenties. It's been a while. But, like I mentioned before, I am nothing but prudent, so the interest of this city's kindred must come before my own needs and wants. I will therefore let you continue your existence. Here's what I require in return for this boon. You are forbidden to meet Torque. I will keep an eye on you, on him. If you want a place with the Anarchs, you go through me and only me. Got it? You have to understand, what I made my associates do to you tonight was just business. We can still work out a mutually beneficial relationship. In fact, it's either that or your final death. Time to go, Vincent. Take the boat back. Leave the fledgling here. I think they have a lot to think about. Sure thing, boss. Pleasure making your acquaintance. Callahan walks away, as do Vince and his band of thugs. You lie on the ground for a while longer, feeling the blood slowly putting your body back together, your hunger growing. You can hear the beast calling, for sustenance, for safety, for revenge, a distant but pronounced third desire. It's not until you mend yourself enough to appear more as a mugging victim than an impossibly mangled walking cadaver that you hail a passing taxi passing and head back to your haven. The whole way there, you are tempted by the beast. Your driver, a 30-something with a strong Slavic accent and an unpronounceable name on his ID, keeps asking if he should drive you to the hospital. You keep declining, all the while thinking that if you only asked him to pull over for 5 minutes, you could feast on his warm blood to the beast's content. Drink him whole. Nobody would know. Nobody but his wife and kids if he has them. Nobody but his boss and co-workers. Nobody but you as you look in the mirror tomorrow. Keeping your hunger at bay was never before as difficult as it is tonight. The driver stops at your apartment building. There is nobody around. You can do it. Do it. Now. Now. Alright, so just to clarify here, the beast is what the Masquerade vampires call the hunger, the desire to kill, the part of them that makes them a monster. And because Lamar just bled a whole lot and got beaten to a pulp, now he's hungry. So we can either give in to the beast's call or resist and not feed on the cab driver. Don't feed. Okay, we will resist the call. You pay the driver and walk out. Fast. Leave the car behind. Don't look back. Look back. Walk back. Feed. No. Through the door. Up the stairs. Key in the lock. Open the apartment. Walk in. Lock yourself in. The familiar four walls of your haven are a blessing. The beast inside you keeps nagging, but you kept it at bay tonight. Not a small feat, given your state. You are still weak. You're still not quite mended. You need to rest. Tomorrow, you will have to feed again. Tomorrow, you will have to consider your next move. Callahan is not the kind of man who quits. But tonight, you rest. Alright, and now we rest. That's the first time I've actually had the beast come out during this game. Alright, resting. Waking up tonight feels different for two reasons. For one, you are pleasantly surprised that your body mended reasonably well while you were resting. It comes with a caveat, though. The hunger you feel is pronounced. The beast like a black dog on the edge of your vision, following you. But what is truly remarkable is waking up to the tune of an old cell phone ringtone. An unknown number is calling the phone you got from Mia. You pick up. Kept that old thing charged after all, huh? You alright? Okay, we can tell her, yeah, cut to the chase, or I feel like shit. Cut to the chase, okay. Cut to the chase. Is the meeting set up or not? What, not a fan of small talk? Good, me neither. Calling with some news. Torque has agreed to meet you. There's a pub in the Bronx. Solids and Stripes. Be there tonight. Two things. No drinking on the premises. So if you want to grab a snack, do it before setting foot in the borough. And this is an exclusively no powers meeting. We'll be rubbing shoulders with commoners the whole evening, and also we don't trust you. So keep it casual, or you'll blow it. Anything you'd like to add? Alright, we can tell her that Callahan doesn't want me to meet him. We should expect company, or will you protect me from Callahan? Okay, will you protect me? If we're to meet, I need you to offer me protection from Callahan. I met him yesterday. He kicked my ass and forbade me from meeting Torque. Silence on the line. Fuck. More silence. I can't promise you any protection on your way there or back, but at the pub, you'll be in Torque's domain. For all this posturing, Callahan doesn't have the balls to strike Torque directly. We'll post additional lookouts on watch. That's the best I can do. If Callahan got under your skin, I get it. I was in that spot once or twice too. All I've got to say is, the risk is worth it. If you don't show tonight, I won't blame you. But it's a one-time offer only. You gotta hedge your bets. Just don't do anything stupid. You meet with us tonight, it better be in good faith. She ends the call. First things first. You take the subway to York Street Station, walk to Front Street, retrieve your car, and weigh your options while driving back to your haven. Alright, go to the meeting directly, drive around before going to the meeting, tell Sophie you can't meet with Torque. Okay, well, we definitely need to feed, so I'm honestly leaning towards this one. Because we can't feed while we're there. So I personally think that feeding would be best. Feed, absolutely. You've been doing this for a good few nights. You're getting a feel for it. You're learning what kind of predator you are and what kind of blood you crave. You're so caught up in yesterday's problems and in this cloak and dagger debacle you're now a part of, that the hunt feels almost automatic and casual tonight. A fragment of you surrenders control. Just minutes after you find your victim, coax them and drink from them, you find you've forgotten their face and how they were dressed. It only hits you once you look at yourself in your car's rearview mirror. This was wrong. You can't let this become the norm. You hurt somebody, a human being. You're a monster. You need to stay mindful of this. You're a monster, but unless you let yourself off the hook, you can hold on to your humanity and not let yourself slide down the spiral. Instead of clearing your mind, this clouded it further, and you are still no closer to a decision. Alright, so now we can choose to tell Sophie that we can't meet with Torque, drive around, or go directly. Sophie's the one who wants us to talk to Torque, just for some context. Go to the meeting directly, okay. Dangerous or not, you have to make the trip to the Bronx and meet with Torque. No detours. Best just get it over with. You take some basic precautions as you enter Torque's turf. You park a few streets over from where the pub is, and walk towards it while keeping an eye out for anyone suspicious. That kindred, for the most part, look no different than The kindred, for the most part, look no different than regular people. Makes things complicated, of course. If you're being followed or watched, it's going to be hard to tell. You reach the pub, shoot a final glance around. There's nobody suspicious around as far as you can see, and open the door. The smell of cigarettes is overwhelming. The whole place has an aura about it, a constant fog hanging right under the ceiling. The lethargic fans do nothing to disperse it. The constant crack of billiard balls and clinking of glasses tells you all you need to know about the clientele. Not a very vampiric place at all. You're wondering if you got the address right. You apparently did. Mia's here. She motions you over to one of the few tables around. Took your sweet time to get here. What, got cold feet? Never mind. Anyone follow you? Okay, I don't know, maybe? Not that I know of. Weren't you supposed to place lookouts? Not that I know of. Okay. Not that I know of. Fair enough. Before I introduce you, there's some outstanding business to discuss. You didn't prove very helpful at the bar. Carol, the bartender, mentioned that you made an effort, but as you can imagine, there's plenty of licks who use feminine pronouns in this day. Still, I'll take whatever I can get, so thanks for that, I guess. Come on, Torque's right there. You walk toward one of the tables. A guy in a coat and hat leans over to take his shot. He's way ahead of his opponent. The table is clear of his balls, save for the 8-ball in a tricky position. Hey, they're here. Be with you in just a moment. He hits it. The hit is fast, precise, and sends the black ball exactly where its player wanted it. His opponent lets out a frustrated sigh. That's that. I believe that's 150 American dollars, Joey. You want to pay up now or up the stakes again? The disgruntled man accepts his defeat and pays up, then declares he's going to grab another beer. To the victor go the spoils. Thank you kindly. He turns his full attention to you. The man is good-looking, if somewhat gaunt and intense. His eyes especially seem to pierce right through your core, but not in an unpleasant way. Name's Torque. I believe you're Lamar, Sophie Langley's new plaything. Is that right? That's right. How does everyone always know that? Plaything? No. What do we say? Anarchs too? How does everybody always know that? Word travels fast when you care to listen, fledgling. We wouldn't be talking tonight if I hadn't learned that a long time ago. forgive my being real with you right off the bat, but I'd like to know who it is I'm dealing with. So here's something that I've been scratching my head about. If you're with Langley, and Langley's Cam through and through, I'm told, what is it you've come to accomplish here tonight? Sophie wants to meet with you. I'm here to spy Callahan. I'm here to learn more about Anarchs. And for some context, the whole reason we're actually meeting with Torque is because Sophie wants to talk to him. And she gave us specific instructions to not say anything about that until we met him. So, do we tell him that? Tell him we're here to spy Callahan? Or tell him we're here to learn more about the Anarchs? Sophie. Probably a good bet. Sophie Langley wants to meet with you. Don't ask why, she didn't tell me. She just said it has something to do with gathering allies against Boss Callahan. I'm here to arrange that meeting. The fuck? I knew nothing about this tea. They lied to me. Mia's furious. She's looking at the pool cue and at you as if she was fighting out the best combination. Ow, wow. Mia's furious. She's looking at the pool cue and at you as if she was figuring out the best combination for the two. It's fine. I appreciate the honesty, even if you weren't straight with my second in command. That I don't appreciate. Well, well, well. Ain't that an interesting proposition? You can't be seriously thinking about meeting with Langley. She's hardline Cam. It's a trap, it must be. It just might be. It just might. He looks at you, pierces you with his unnaturally keen eyes. He's about to say something when a door opens at the back of the room. Hey, Torque, you, got a guest. They're in the back. Mio, won't you be a dear and keep our new friend company? I'll see what the commotion is. Sure thing. Torque tips his hat to you and walks to the back, joining the man who called for him. Mia glowers at you, this time weighing one of the pool balls in her hand. She looks like she has half a mind to chuck it at your face. You gotta be quite happy with yourself, bluffing your way in here. Hey, whatever works. Sorry it had to be this way. It's not just Sophie I'm here for. I wish I did this differently, but it is what it is. I'm not proud of myself. You shouldn't be. You made me look like a chump in front of Torque. Here I was beginning to think you might make a good addition to our little family. There's a whole lot of trust you'll have to regain before that happens now. Torque appears from a door at the back and calls across the room. Yo, Mia! Can I grab you for a second? Lamar, get over here too. To the back room. It's basically a storage area with a single wooden desk. It's pretty cramped, especially considering there's 5 other people in there with you. Torque ushers you in and closes the door behind you and Mia. 2 burly dudes are holding somebody down. A familiar voice reaches your ears. Motherfuckers, you're gonna pay for this, you hear me? The boss is gonna fuck you up so bad you have no idea. Have you had the doubtful pleasure of meeting Mr. Cerruti before, Lamar? Yeah, we met yesterday. You could say that. I have a score to settle. yesterday. Yeah, we met yesterday. You're fucked. You're so fucked you don't even know it, you stupid piece of shit. I should have ended you yesterday. The boss told you to stay away. You should have listened. That's a story and a half, ain't it? Vince, calm down now and tell me how many of your guys are still out there on my turf, Go fuck yourself. You're done. The boss will know this stupid piece of shit fledgling came here. He knows they're with Langley. You know what that means, Torque? No, I don't. What does it mean, Vince? Now the boss can wipe you out. He'll just say you're sucking Langley's tits and all of those buddies of yours. Oh, wow. Now the boss can wipe you out. He'll just say you're sucking Langley's tits and all those buddies of yours? Gone. You're done, Torque. Well, now. If that's the case, I guess ridding NYC of your toady ass won't make things any worse, will it? Actually, there's an idea. Vince mentioned that he beat you up yesterday. Did I hear that right, Lamar? You want to repay the favor? I want no part in this. It's your turf. You deal with him, or gladly. Oh, we just go with gladly? Tell him that we'll do it? Got it. Gladly. Go right ahead. Oh, I thought this was an option we couldn't pick, but I think it does something else. So do we stake him, or do we hurt him? A lot. Oh, never mind, I'm wrong. We can't stake him. I thought we could. Oh well. You hit Vince. Once. Twice. He's chuckling in the beginning, but you focus your blood for some extra oomph and keep hitting him. Again. More. Until he stops laughing. He's bruised, battered, and broken. The two Anarch dudes let go of him, and you kick him some more while he's on the floor. You only stop when you hear Torque's voice. Enough's enough, Lamar. He takes an old pool cue. Excuse me. He takes an old pool cue and breaks it over his knee. Stake him and take him downstairs. Let's keep Callahan guessing about what happened to his favorite puppy. Mia takes a sharp piece of wood and jams it into Vince's chest. His features grow slack, his entire body inert. He doesn't even give out a yelp. The other two Anarchs take him out of the room. As entertaining as that was, I think Vince, in his unmatched wisdom, shared more than Callahan would hope for. This changes things. Ever heard about Operation Lights Out, Lamar? It was a Second Inquisition effort here in NYC. A single night of raids at a magnitude never seen before or since. The Ivory Tower got away with just a few losses here and there. No major players were hit. They managed to find safe spots and stay out of the eye of the shitstorm. Us, though, we got hit hard, all over town. Havens were rooted out, entire coteries and safe houses gone, just like that. Nobody saw it coming. I barely got out in one piece. Mia looks at him with concern and puts a hand on his arm. He shrugs it off, gently but surely. Others, like my Childe, Barb, or Mia's sire, extinguished. But you know who got out without a scratch? Callahan. We've thought about it for the past few years. How is it that Big B managed to excuse himself from the Staten Island Museum where we used to meet, just before vans full of guys in body armor showed up? Okay, Jody, thanks for watching. How is it that as my baby is burning up after being shot with incendiary rounds, I also see Doug Callahan running with his tail between his legs, pushing fledglings like you in the path of the SI? We think the bastard knew what was coming, and he set us up. Not just us. Some of our brothers and sisters who got hit had some of the lowest profiles in this city's lit population. The moral of the story? Callahan is an opportunistic motherfucker, and even if his thickest followers suggest he's going to sell me out, then that's what he's going to do as sure as the sun rises. He pauses for a moment, and you see him reach a decision. You said something about Langley having an offer for me. It might be your fault in part that I'm at this juncture, but now's going to be as good a time as any to listen to what she has to say. I don't think that's wise, T. Well, what would you have me do, then? You said it yourself. It's all this fledgling's fault. They brought this on us. So let's use them as a bargaining chip. Callahan wants them. Langley needs them. They're valuable. Alright, me, valuable. I'm just a pawn. I'm sorry, but don't sell me out. What the fuck, Mia? No, you're wrong. I'm just a pawn. That's why Sophie sent me here. Plausible deniability and all that. I'm expendable. The realization that you just summarized the entirety of the last 2 weeks or so hits you hard. But if there was a moment to be honest with yourself, it's now. Fuck. The man puts his hand on Mia's shoulder. She calms down a bit. We're afraid, Lamar, but then what else is new? It's a paradox, being who we are. The hunter one night, the hunted another. Masters of the night, slaves to dawn. A duality to everything. Mia, I understand your concern, but I need you to trust me like you did before. This is my call and my responsibility. You can give me shit about it later, like I'm sure you will. Count on it. He smiles and then takes on a no bullshit look and points at you. 3 conditions. First, you come pick me up, personally, and bring me to the meeting spot. Anything goes sideways, it's your ass. Second, Mia's coming with me. No 2 ways about it. 8 eyeballs in the meeting. The 2 of you, the 2 of us. Nobody else. And third, the meeting is public. Downtown, some spot frequented by mortals. We see you take us anywhere fishy, we check out and fuck you up as a message to Langley. I count on it not coming to that, though. You seem likable enough. The cam hasn't gotten its talons in you yet. Keep it up, and maybe you'll come to the same conclusion we did in your own time. Alright, I'll repeat your conditions to Sophie. I doubt it. It's dangerous being anarch. I'll wait and see. I see we have someone watching. Which one do you think I should choose? Definitely leaning towards repeating his conditions to Sophie. I think we'll roll with that. I'll make sure to repeat your conditions to Sophie. You do that. Best be on your way. Ask for me here when you need me. The bartender knows how to get in touch. Just ask him to put the owner on the line. Mia walks you to the door and accompanies you to your car. Listen, about what I said before. Save it? Yeah, what about it? I hope you're about to apologize. I'll just tell her, save it. Save it. She freezes for a second, then shrugs her shoulders. Your call. See ya. She starts walking back to the bar as you start the engine and head back to Sophie's apartment. Time to give Sophie the good news. She welcomes you as openly as ever, clearly excited to see you and for what news you might bring. Good evening, Lamar. How is your task going? You have something for me, perhaps? I did what you asked. It's done, but cost me dearly. It's done, but there will be trouble. I'll just tell her we did what she asked. I did what you asked. The meeting is set up. Excellent. Experience any problems? Alright, well, let's see. Caliphate pen for baby for meeting Torque. Torque doesn't trust you. Callahan's goon threatened Torque. Let's just let her know that Torque doesn't trust her. Torque doesn't trust you. He has a list of conditions if you want to meet him. I would assume that's the case. Well, let's hear it. What did Torque agree to? You relay the Anarch leader's conditions. You are to pick him and Mia up. The meeting should only include the four of you, and it should be held in a public space. Those are all fair enough, although I do worry about that Mia character. Tell me, do you think she's trustworthy? Torque trusts her. She's fine for an Anarch. She tried to sell me out. Well, Torque trusts her, so we can too, I think. Very well. As for the place, I wonder if they would agree to meeting in Hudson Yards, the vessel. Plenty of tourists visit that place, but if we go there after midnight... She seems to have made up her mind. Yes, bring them there tomorrow night. Look for me near the top level. Tomorrow, so soon, will they agree to meeting in the city? What's so important that you can't just send him a letter or something? You'll be there to find out. Pick them up at midnight, then drive back to Midtown. That's the plan. I'll be waiting as long as it takes, within reason. I'm counting on you, Lamar. The final puzzle piece is about to find its way to its destination. After that, we will all get our just reward. You, me, the Camarilla, even the Anarchs. I could kiss you. Yes, you'd like that. You desire it. She must have caught it in your expression. She smiles. A figure of speech, darling. Or at least it is tonight. But a few nights from now, who knows? I am growing fond of you. And success whets my appetite for these kinds of things. The sexual tension in the room becomes unbearable until it suddenly disappears. Was this another one of Sophie's tricks? Or an actual spark of arousal in both of your undead bodies? You certainly felt the blood flow through you for a short moment. The warmth in your groin takes you by surprise. You didn't think you could do that anymore. Or did you just imagine it? Use the rest of this night well, Lamar, and rest. We are but a day's sleep away from shaking the city awake. Alright, looks like we've got one more thing that we can do tonight, because we've got half the night. Let's see. Let's go and talk to Benoit. Why not? Approaching the cathedral on the street makes you nervous. You've been here twice, and twice something bad has happened. Or almost happened, as in both cases you ran away. Benoit suggested it's time to stop running and experience faith head on. Perhaps he's right. Maybe it is cowardly to take refuge in rationalizations when you know what you felt. The holiness of the priest and your own damnation. Walking towards the doors of the cathedral, glance at the bench where you sat when you first met Benoit. He's waiting for you, sitting and contemplating the cathedral's Gothic architecture. Sure and calm. Are you sure we can't meet here? I just can't let these questions go. Are you sure we can meet here? So actually, no. The more I think about these questions of faith, the harder it is to let go. I know how that feels. It all looks different than before. Tense, certain. We've had some time to think about what we spoke of before. Not sure what to believe. I want to learn more about Cain. I want to learn more about Cain. I want to learn more about Cain, about where we all came from. All in good time. I have something different in mind for tonight, as you surely remember. Let's go see Father Anthony. It's best not to talk in the cathedral, so I arranged for us to see him at his home. I have a car nearby. It's better be on the level. Good idea. Yeah. It's better be on the level, Benoit. We're beyond that kind of tough talk, don't you think? You follow Benoit as he walks down the street until you come to his car, a surprisingly pedestrian family sedan. The essence of the Masquerade is inconspicuousness. Nobody expects a vampire to drive a car like this. Benoit drives north toward Queens. During these moments, you feel anonymous, just another speck of dust in a vast machine where every action influences the whole in tiny ways. The one thing you've learned about the Kindred is that they are not lacking in self-regard. The prince of a Camarilla city is said to rule the domain, yet how much do they really affect mortal affairs? If you ask a vampire, they'll say a lot. Perhaps that's what made Benoit turn inward, the futility of finding meaning in a secret, predatory existence. Benoit stops in front of a red brick row house, a little run down, but probably not cheap. Benoit notes your interest. Father Anthony comes from an old New York family. He inherited the house. When I first met him, I was suspicious, so I checked up on him. Despite the way he keeps putting you in dangerous situations, kindred paranoia seems to come naturally to Benoit. Perhaps that's something you can learn from him. He knows where vampires right. It's never coming. I should probably ask about that. Isn't this a masquerade breach? I suppose. We make ghouls all the time. We hunt. The masquerade is threatened regularly with much worse than this. We follow Benoit to the stairs, looking around for any signs of an ambush. As you get to the door, the first signs of trepidation hit you. The discomfort, the pain that'll follow once you're inside. It feels like a physical thing, a burning sensation under your skin, in your blood. You look to see how Benoit is taking it. He smiles, eyes closed for a second before knocking on the door, almost as if he's enjoying the sensation. The door opens and you see Father Anthony's kindly face. Your body feels as if in of ice. You haven't really been bothered by hot or cold since you were embraced, but now it feels like the surface of your skin is overwhelmed with sensation. The fear and terror are paralyzing. Yes. You barely hear Benoit's whisper. Come in, you two. I might not know much, but I know enough not to do this on the porch. You force yourself to follow Father Anthony into the apartment, despite the splitting headache and rising panic. It's hard to take in your surroundings. Everything seems to vibrate, seeking to engulf you. Framed portraits on a mantelpiece, a cross on the wall, a living room with lots of books, many of them old. I'm not sure I can offer you anything. You don't drink tea, I suppose? No, we don't. We'll be fine, thank you, Father. Are you sure you're okay? You look distressed. Please, Father, you know this is difficult for us. You'll forgive me if I don't waste time. Father Anthony looks pained, whether because of the rudeness or out of sympathy for your condition. You can't tell. He motions for you to sit down, but you and Benoit are both too agitated to do so. You feel trapped, like a moth being smeared against a burning light bulb. It's hard to look at Father Anthony, but you can't look at anything else either. Benoit is starting to look increasingly unhinged. His eyes look as if he's seeing into some divine beyond just outside the grasp of your senses. Now's the time, my friend. You have to decide if you're ready for salvation. Prove your faith by embracing the Father and let His radiance envelop you. I wonder what's going to happen. Startled. Father, it's time to be redeemed for both of us. Benoit falls to his knees next to you, lifting his face in full embrace of the holy agony. This is not right, Benoit. Everyone has a chance for salvation. I understand there's something in God's presence that burns you, but you can work through it. Please, Benoit, there are many paths to salvation, and you'll find yours. I won't hurt you and your friend. Benoit moans in pain, stricken with grief and disbelief at Father Anthony's refusal. Please, Father, they don't even believe. Not truly. Father Anthony looks at you and seems to waver. Even his belief in salvation has limits. I believe, Father. I just need to find the way. Your response makes Father Anthony steel his resolve. He is a man of grace, and he believes salvation extends to everyone, even vampires. Benoit, your weakness blinds you. Sometimes a martyr succumbs to a special kind of vanity, where they imagine their pain is holiness. Yet our goal must always be to help our fellow man find the right path. Benoit is still kneeling. He looks at Father Anthony in confusion and surprise. Please, Father, forgive me. I don't know. Shush, Benoit. We have time to talk. Meanwhile, I think it's better for your friend to leave. I can't claim to understand the effect I seem to have on your kind, but I'm not convinced it's all solitary. Father Anthony looks at you kindly. Go. I hope we can talk again someday. There is hope for everyone, even you. You're weeping, tears of blood staining your cheeks. Staggering and stumbling, you retreat to the door, the distance between you and the Father already making it hurt less. You hear Benoit's whispered confessions behind you as you escape the night. You're safe, but the implications of your experience are troubling. What does this mean? Whether practical or spiritual, it feels like you have to think about this for a long time. You're free to return to your haven, and there is a distinct temptation to keep the events of the night to yourself. Yet these events cannot be good for the Masquerade. Well, she said that she would help us, but it might get Benoit in trouble. Still don't know if I can trust her. Let's keep it to ourselves. Sometimes the right choice is to do nothing at all. Walk back to your haven, alone as usual, among the people who crowd the New York sidewalks even at night. Holiness hurts. That's the inescapable conclusion from what happened. Hard to say what words like salvation and damned mean in the modern nights. The way you felt in Father Anthony's presence is an unavoidable fact. Father Anthony and his faith is the key. You could walk into a church and fondle a cross to your heart's content. None of that means anything. It's only in the presence of living faith that holiness becomes manifest. Perhaps one day, you'll have the courage to go back to Father Anthony. Alright, now we're on to our next rest, and on this note, I thank you all for watching, and we will see you next time.